Yesterday, the deputy president held a meeting in Kiambu County with the Kiambu elders. And in that particular meeting, what transpired was that there was a video leak from that particular meeting. And the leak had this to say. You've heard for yourself. The deputy president says that in 2017, after the nullification of the presidential election, that particular day, he went to State House and found Uhuru, a confused fella, a person who had given up, a person who was ready to go home, a person who was ready to leave the presidency to their opponents. Ruto says in that particular video, he says that he had asked Uhuru whether he had put the necessary measures to avert possible nullification of the election. And Uhuru had said that measures were there and everything had been taken care of. Unfortunately, the nullification happened. When Ruto found Uhuru at State House, he was already drunk, or he was drinking. He further says Uhuru told him that he wanted to go home to Ishaweri. He had given up and he was ready to give the presidency to their opponent. So that particular meeting, Ruto held a meeting with Kiambu elders. As we know, Kiambu is the home county of President Kenyatta. So in this video, I want to try and we analyze why Ruto said those particular words. One, Ruto wanted to whip up emotions among those group of elders. He wanted to create an emotions that Uhuru had given up. He wanted to create a scenario whereby elders get to understand that were it not for him, Uhuru had already given up. And when Uhuru told him he was going home, Ruto said no. Ruto told Uhuru that let's get ready, let's fight for it again. Let's campaign again, this time more carefully. Let's this time put necessary actions that the election would be nullified again. The second reason, I believe Ruto said such words, was to put a sense that he had been betrayed. Despite being the man that who told Uhuru, you are not going home. We are standing tall and we fight for the seat again. And with the current political landscape, Ruto want to create a scenario where people, or those particular elders, will see that Uhuru betrayed Ruto. Ruto want to create that scenario whereby he is the man who has been betrayed. Despite standing tall, standing strong for Uhuru, campaigning hard for Uhuru, today Uhuru has forsaken him and chosen to support the enemy they were fighting in that particular election in 2017. The third reason, I believe Ruto said that he wanted to portray Odinga as the enemy of the Kikuyus by saying that it's him, Raila Odinga, who went to Supreme Court. It's the person who rallied Maraga and the judges and the entire judiciary to nullify the presidential election. He wants to create a scenario whereby people will believe, or rather he wants to remind the Kikuyus that Odinga is the enemy of the Kikuyus, is the man who tried to deny them victory. He's the man who was fighting their man. He's the man who is out to destroy the Kikuyus. And Ruto himself stood in for the Kikuyus. He's the person who rallied people to vote for Uhuru. He was the chief campaigner for Uhuru Kenyatta. By trying to create that scenario, he want to rally the Kikuyus behind himself, because he want to show the Kikuyus that Odinga was their enemy, was the person who has been fighting them, who was the person who wanted to deny them the presidency, was the person who intended to take the presidency away from the Kikuyus. But the impacts of those particular words, actually they are fatal to the deputy president. Being the person he is, he has consistently failed to adhere to the 48 rules of power. One of those rules that he has consistently failed to adhere is never outshine the master. Rule number 1 of the Robert Greene's 48 rules of power. Ruto is trying to outshine his master, who is Uhuru Kenyatta. Every day, Ruto wants to appear supreme. He wants to show that Uhuru is planless, rudderless, and clueless. That were it not for Ruto, Uhuru could not have gotten the second term. That is a tactical mistake Ruto is making. By saying that, he wants to show that he is the sole person for why Jubilee got a second term. The second rule of power that William Ruto is consistently failing to adhere to, it's one of the Robert Greene's rule of power that says, say less than necessary. Every day Ruto is outbursting. He's saying this, he's saying that. He's saying we did it, we did that. By doing that, he's saying more than necessary. He should not speak that much. The moment he says everything, he overspeaks. He put the secrets they used last time. He put clear what he intends to do. By saying more than necessary, your enemy is able to prepare for defense. Your enemy is able to cope, is able to put enough measures to counter you. You say more than necessary, people run your tactic. And that's the brand that William Ruto is creating every day. Unless those who advises him moves with speed and give him the necessary advice on the reins he must respect, on the reins he must never cross. Remember, in politics, there are reins, there are weapons, there are wars that should never be fought. By trying to fight Uhuru Kenyatta, trying to fight his men, he is crossing the red line. And the moment he crossed the red line, Uhuru and his men, Uhuru has people behind him. They won't stand and see their man being betrayed. Once the red line is crossed, Uhuru's men and himself will draw the battle line, and that's where the battle shall start. And who will be the loser here? Uhuru has the government, has the deep state, has the government machineries, has the oligarchies behind him. He has the finances. So your bet is good as mine. Ruto will be the loser. As we go forward, we expect risks of such manners as frustrations, especially on the DP side, heat up. He will speak more. He'll speak around. He'll spill the beans on the things they did. And guess what? More is coming. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. Let's meet on the next video. Thank you.